never disrespect momentum. You see, for a lot of you, your biggest issue is you get a win. You win today, you set a list of things to do and you do it. You take the actions necessary to grow your business. You take the right steps in the right direction, and then all of a sudden, you kick your feet up. You get comfortable. You stop doing the things that got you to even where you are right now. Listen, you may not be a multi-millionaire. You may not be in the place you want to be in life, but even if you just have a week or a couple weeks of success, of wins, all of a sudden then you just think that, oh, I can go back to my old ways and I don't actually need to keep up the things that got me here in the first place. Momentum, in my opinion, is genuinely the most powerful force you can have in your life. I always say, when it rains, it pours. And by the way, that also applies negatively. Negative momentum is a thing. The pendulum can swing either way. So when you are on a hot streak, when you have momentum in life, never ever disrespect it. Because as I said, when it rains, it pours. When one blessing comes into your life, usually there's a few more around the corner.
Slaves worked all the hours they were awake for their entire lives. In American history, in Egyptian history, in the rest of the world that had slaves, which is most of the world at some given point. I think if they can do it, so can I. Now you're like, well, did they have a happy existence? Well, they didn't get to pick the work they did, but it means that you can work. That's if you have the cap behind you. You can work every hour of the day. I'm like, well, if you get to have the cheese and you get to eat the cheese the whole way you're going, then, there's the famous quote, the person who loves walking walks further than the person who loves the destination.
One of the best pieces of advice that nobody follows, right here, say thank you. I can't tell you how many people come up and say, Tai, I want to network. I want to be able to meet influencers, powerful people, and blah, 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 get investors. I'm like, you don't even say thank you. Everything you eat can't be sweet if you want to be healthy. Just like every piece of advice you get can't be healthy. Most people need to wake up, say thank you. If I do a party at my house, I invite 200, 300, 400, 500 people. Mark my words, every single time, at most 10 people write thank you. At most. People are entitled in this world, but never get mad. They'll get their own reward, their own punishment. They'll be broke because like attracts like. You know who the 10 people are that always write me thank you? If I do a big party, open bar, open up my house, without a doubt, it'll be the billionaires, the millionaires, the A-list celebrities. Those are the ones who say thank you. That's why they're A-list. That's why they're billionaires and millionaires. You got to reverse engineer their success. They did the stuff that most entitled people won't do. And I know some people can get mad and say, Tai, you seem angry in this. I'm not angry. I already know the secret. I call it the 1-for-1 principle. Someone does one thing for you, you do one thing for them. Always. You never let that ratio get out of whack. Ever. Somebody does 10 nice things for you, but you got 10. People say, oh, I don't want to keep track like that. Well, okay. And you don't want success. Because let me tell you, people keep track in their mind of what they've done for you. And it's supposed to be that way. People, don't start getting philosophical. I hate when people write me bullshit stuff that don't understand the human brain and say, oh, I'll tell you, you should never keep track. Your brain's built to keep track. It's a mathematical machine. There's an algorithm. Now, it's not always healthy, but it's the way you're built. And, obviously, people have done you wrong. You don't have to remember it forever. But if you're trying to build allies, you want allies to remember the good you've done, and you want to remember the good they've done. It builds a healthier relationship. So, look back in your life. Who's done something for you that you forgot to say thank you? It can be a simple text. It should be 1-for-1 also. If they give you $1 million thing, don't text them thank you only. Get them something of value that's above and beyond. Trying some probiotics, sauerkraut. Always experiment with your diet. People get all stuck in their ways. Oh, I'm vegan. I'm vegetarian. I'm paleo. I'm macrobiotic. Humans are omnivores. Try lots of stuff. He who experiments most wins, or she. And one of the simple experiments is be that person that always says thank you. Smart people remember. It's crazy. I can just tell you in the last couple weeks, only the people at the top always say thank you.
The next way to unfuck your life is to clean your desk. Crazy, I know. Sounds so stupid, but why is it that in the military they make people make their beds? And by the way, I have to be very honest here. I don't make my bed anymore. And that's because I'm now, 8 years into business, and I've dialed in all of these disciplines and all of these habits. But when I first started, I was so diligent. I was so on the ball with these things. My desk was always clean. My bed was always made. Cleaning your desk isn't necessarily about having a clean desk. I mean, it's a benefit, it's a positive, but I wouldn't sit here and pretend like it's truly life-changing. It's just the fact that it's such an easy win. It's something you can do right after this video. Clean your desk, organize, and I guarantee the next time you sit at your desk, you're gonna feel so much better about getting to work because you don't have this clutter around you. The next way to unfuck your life is to have a strict rule. No music before 1 p.m. Now, the reason I say no music before 1 p.m. is because music, at the end of the day, especially a lot of the modern music that is being made, a lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it, the actual frequency of the music is frenetic. Like, I don't know, sometimes if you listen to modern music and it's just kind of like, it puts you on edge. You just feel like a little off. And by the way, like, I love bumping some rap while I'm training, but in the morning is such a fragile time for your mind. It's such a delicate time for your mind. And it's a time of the day where you should have some peace. You should have some quiet. And you shouldn't be implanting a lot of these, quite frankly, a lot of the music these days, I'm just gonna call it what it is, demonic. Like these demonic weird thoughts and frequencies and sounds. So I believe a strict rule you should adhere to is before 1 p.m., don't listen to any music, or at least don't listen to any music with lyrics. Because as I said, music is one of the biggest ways to influence people. And at the end of the day, why should you let this rapper or this artist or this person, why should they influence what's going on in here?
What do I hate doing? Well, let me not do that, which is, sitting on meetings all day and doing whatever, doing grunt work for shit that I felt like was meaningless. And instead, I was like, I'll do fitness because I like fitness. And I was like, at the very least, I'll do something I enjoy, which I liked fitness at the time. And if you're like, well, I don't like doing anything. Well, it's like, well, then that's impossible because your brain is wired to be rewarded for things. And so you are doing things that reward you. That's why you do them. Like everything we do is because we've been rewarded for doing things like that in the past. And we project the same activities and we predict that doing things like we did in the past that reward us will reward us again in the future. That's where our behavior comes from. And so it's like, okay, well, what has rewarded you in the past? Where's the cat? Go the opposite way.
Try to fast as long as you can. Whether that be intermittent fasting, whether that, at the beginning of the month, doing a 48-hour or 72-hour water fast. And by the way, for all you who are saying, you can't go that long without eating, but just do a little bit of research, please. Humans can literally go weeks and weeks on end without food. And by the way, people do that under medical supervision and usually for a health problem. So I don't recommend any of you guys do it, but I have done many 72-hour and 48-hour fasts. Not only is it one of the best ways to reset your insulin sensitivity as well as your caffeine sensitivity, it's a chance for your body to truly repair itself. And there's also something very spiritual about it. Maybe not all of you watching believe in God. Maybe not all of you watching are religious. That's fine. It is what it is. But I can tell you right now, when you fast, you get a lot closer to God, or if you don't believe in that, at least spiritually, it really, really does something to you. So try to fast for as long as you can, whether that's intermittent fasting or whether that's, once a month or once a quarter or something along those lines, you do a 48-hour or a 72-hour fast.
Of being directionally correct rather than absolutely correct. And so I think what happens is most people are trying to find the perfect answer when they have no perspective from which to make a judgment. They're trying to find the perfect thing to do when they haven't done anything. So how would you have perspective to make a judgment? Like if you try a lot of things in the beginning, which you have to know what your inputs outputs are, decrease your action threshold enough with either a cheese or a cat, whatever you need. Most people have more cats than they have cheese in the beginning. So use the cat to start running towards something. And the thing is the rat, it's so simple. It's like there's cheese here. But what you really just need to know is that there's cheese out there. And there's a cat behind me for sure. And so if I just go anywhere away from the cat, I will have a higher likelihood of getting closer to the cheese.
When I feel fear, that's usually when I should lean into doing the thing that I'm feeling scared of. For example, a few months ago, I was setting up an online course, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, which has been going for a while now. And before setting this up, before launching it to the public, I had this deep sense of fear of what if no one signs up? What if it's really bad? What if I'm super out of my depth? And having read all this Stoicism stuff over the years, as soon as I kind of felt that feeling of fear, I was like, oh, crap. crap. Now I basically have to do it because I know I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do something because of the fear. But on this note, one way in which I'm trying to improve is that I think I often shy away from difficult conversations because of this feeling of fear. Like now that we've got a team of 10 people in my business, I'm starting to get into the realm where I know we're gonna have conversations about like salaries and about expectations and about targets and about are people really performing at the standard that we want them to be performing at. And this feels really, 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 really scary. And I've historically kind of shied away from those conversations thinking, oh, it's fine. You know, as long as the numbers are going up, as long as the business is doing well, who cares about any of this stuff? But every kind of good leader or mentor I've spoken to who I think does a good job in running their business and managing their team, they've all said to me that look, you're gonna feel the fear and you have to lean into it and have those conversations anyway.